very high. Smoke the weed and pass the time, yeah, yeah. Smoke the weed and pass the time, yeah.
What up, y'all? Cameron CB. I'm not gaming today. I'm doing a sit-down video with y'all. That's what we doing? And fucking Am I the Asshole? We're going on Reddit. We're doing Am I the Asshole? I'm going through their Reddit page, and I'm gonna be going through however many, just determining if they are the asshole or not. I did like a whole hour-long video last night, but the microphone wasn't working, so I'm just gonna have to scroll. So, am I the asshole for telling my sister she can't go with me on vacation? Last weekend, while at my parents' with my siblings, my dad and I were looking at a few locations where I might take a week solo trip. One of my sisters walks in and overheard me mentioning wanting to go to a lake. And she then says, "Oh, how about you and I go to the beach? I haven't gone to the ocean in years." I tell her that maybe one day when her kids are older we can go. She has a 7 male and a 5 male. But until then, this will be a very much needed solo trip. She goes off about how she wished I knew how hard and expensive it was to have kids as a single mom, that she really needed a break and couldn't afford a week off with just her income and needed help with the kids. I reminded her that not only could I not have kids for medical reasons, but I've also helped all of my siblings at one time or another financially with their children, as well as childcare when needed, for free. And if she's single, it's because of her horrible choice in men. Her ex is a douche. She went crying to my mom, so now my mom is taking her side. My dad is taking my side since he knows I work hard for my money and I don't really splurge on myself. Plus, I haven't been able to take a vacation in almost 2 years. Edit the post. I normally would keep my cool and not be bothered by what she said, but the fact that she made it sound like I didn't have kids by choice really hurt. A little over 10 years ago, I almost didn't survive a tubal pregnancy. My ex refused to take my pain seriously. I drove myself to the ER, had to have my emergency surgery, and ended up having an ovary removed. I always wanted to be a mom. She's known this, and yet did what she said. But I should not have said what I did, and instead should have told her to stop and not bothered with it. Original poster has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I might be the asshole since I snapped back and brought up her painful past in regards to her ex. I shouldn't have maybe been too direct. Sleepy Panda 1478. So she invited herself on your trip so you could subsidize her vacation and provide childcare during your time off. Not the asshole, obviously. Everybody just saying that they agree, or everybody sucks here. So apparently, you can get pregnant with only one ovary. Am I the asshole for telling my wife that her hair looks terrible? For context to my post, Mai and I are both 38. We have been married for 10 years and together for 13 years. And 3 years ago, my wife noticed she had a few gray hairs. Her hairstylist dyed my wife's hair blonde and put very big highlights in it. My wife says the big highlights hide the grays from her fresh, not dyed roots where it grows. She also had her hairstylist cut it, give her bangs, and cut the hair around her face shorter because it would hide wrinkles. I never noticed my wife having wrinkles, but she said she did. The new hairstyle was a big change because before, her hair was a bit longer, black, and she didn't have any bangs or short parts. Personally, I think the blonde doesn't look right on her at all. The highlights aren't natural, and if I were her, I would not have bangs. But she likes it, and it makes her more confident, so if she's happy, it's enough for me. My question comes about because my wife's best friend is getting a divorce and it is not a pleasant one. She goes to the same place as my wife to get her hair done. She told my wife her ex-husband said she wasn't as hot as when they got married and made a bunch of general insults about her looks and her hair. After this happened, my wife started asking me if I was still attracted to her. I said yes. She asked if I liked her hair. I said, if it makes her happy, so do I. Oh, I don't know. But she keeps asking me if I liked it. I don't know why it started after 3 years and questions about her looks and hair kept going, especially after she had a virtual book club and wine night with her friends. She kept asking me and my answer was always the same. One night she asked me to swear on our daughter's life, which is ridiculous for something so minor. But since she wouldn't stop, I admitted I preferred her old hair color and style without layering or bangs. But I also said if it makes her happy, it's enough for me and a different hairstyle isn't going to change my attraction to her. She is upset with me over that answer. She called me an asshole to my face. She told her friends I insulted her hair, which I did not. She even asked me if I would prefer her sister now because she has black hair but does not dye or cut it like my wife. I don't know where that came from. Her sister is gay and lives in another country. She's perfectly nice. She's perfectly nice, but that's it. I've never thought of her like that. Should I have lied when my wife asked me to swear on my daughter's about her hair? Am I wrong for not understanding why hiding gray hair is so important for women? Am I the asshole for saying I preferred her old hair when she kept asking me, and should I apologize? If I was truly wrong, I would apologize for the misunderstanding. I do love my wife and I hate that she's mad at me over hair. I feel like I could be the asshole for hurting my wife's feelings for not being aware or sensitive as to why gray hair is a big deal for women and for maybe a bigger emphasis on looks versus personality and other traits. Josh, that one guy, not the asshole. Dude, your wife asked you to swear on your daughter's life over hair? That's pretty not okay. Furthermore, you've been exceptionally supportive. But this sounds like it's your friends pushing their insecurities onto her. She kept pushing, you graciously answered. To be honest, she's lucky you seem like a very calm individual. After being called an asshole to my face like that for literally no reason, I would have basically told her I wouldn't be speaking to her until an apology. She's a grown woman, she needs to not act like a petulant child. The title seems good on this one. Am I the asshole for walking out on a patient and refusing to return? Hello. I've had conflicting feedback about my situation. I do traveling healthcare as a nurse aide. I was given one patient that I would go visit to give their main caretaker a break through the week, feed, bathe, and generally make sure that they were safe. When I figured out the caregiver was testing me. While I was prepping my patient's meals or getting supplies for my vehicle, they were putting fake urine in my patient's brief and bed pad to make sure I was changing them timely. They would also wet the bed sheet to make sure I was changing the bed and things like that. I know this because I walked in on them pouring the urine out one day because I was suspicious something was up because oftentimes my patient would actually urinate closely to these incidents and I thought it was odd, so I walked away to get something and quickly circled back in. They fessed up about the testing to make sure I was doing my job correctly. Well, when I found this out, I was furious because they were creating extra work for me to do changing a bedridden person, especially doing a full bed change. It's not easy to do by yourself. Wait. Is it the patient? The patient's doing this? Okay, no, the main nurse. Okay. The main nurse is doing it. promptly reported this to my job and left because I do not appreciate people wasting my time and making me work twice as hard because of a test. Well, I got a phone call from my work because apparently the caregiver wanted me to return because I was the only aide they had that had been attentive to the patient. I told my work I will not go back because they had installed a nanny cam or done s- I would not go back because they could have installed a nanny cam or done something more practical than making me do multiple bed changes and brief changes that are unnecessary. Note, this patient is larger, so it is not an easy job to do alone. I've had some friends tell me it was an asshole move to leave them like that since abuse and neglect are so prevalent in healthcare, and the caretaker just wanted to make sure the patient was being properly cared for. I feel I may be the asshole because I did leave my patient without having coverage first, and I do care greatly about the well-being of my patients. And still the sun rises. Is a primary caretaker a family member or a long-term aide? If it's a family member, you may want to report them. If it's an aide, you definitely want to report them. Putting this patient into dirty briefs or intentionally soiling their bed with biological waste is abuse. If it is a family member, you can call your local child protective service or adult protective services to report. You're not the asshole, but please try to help this patient if you can. Am I the asshole for stealing my sister's wedding dress, even knowing she isn't getting married anytime soon? So last year, my sister was engaged and would not have her wedding. Last year, my sister was engaged and would have her wedding whenever COVID-19 got less severe and whatnot. We spent a lot of last year searching for the perfect dress for her, and let's just say she's real picky, so it took a long time. Wedding dress shopping and looking kind of had become a hobby of mine, so I would search on websites a lot for them, when suddenly I came across the perfect dress. I immediately screenshot it to send to my sister knowing she would love it. But I'm not gonna lie, a tiny thought crossed my mind to not send it because it was just so perfect for myself. But then I thought, well, I'm not getting married anytime soon. Long story short, my sister loved the dress, and luckily a store nearby us had the dress in stock. However, unfortunately, before the dress could have been finalized and all that jazz, my sister and her fiance broke off the engagement. This year, I got engaged and was looking to have my wedding sometime early next year. I had been looking crazy for the perfect dress, however, all my mind could go back was the dress my sister was going to wear. I did feel some guilt, as the end of the engagement really broke my sister and I didn't want to be giving her bad memories, but at the same time, I could not find any other dress. And I told my sister I would be getting that wedding dress. She had a breakdown saying that that wedding dress was hers and she didn't care because she was going to wear it for her wedding. Thing is, she isn't getting married anytime soon and is currently single. Besides, even if she were going to get married later, who knows if she would find a nicer dress. My family is torn. My mom is saying I'm being really insensitive. My fiance says nobody can own a dress and it isn't her right. My other sister says there are a million other dresses I could choose from, and my brother thinks my sister is being a spoiled brat. Kinda. They're on her side, they're on my side, they're on her side, they're on my side. Why do you just like, who cares? Some parts of me feel guilty, however, it's really the perfect dress and I haven't found anything else that grabs me the way this dress does. And another part of me says my sister is being unreasonable. I just want to know what side of my mind to listen to. Edit, not using this to excuse my actions, but to bring more info. The reason why this dress is so special is that it includes everything I want in my budget frame of $1,000, which when looking for a wedding dress comes very limited options. I promise, if I find another dress that tick off all the boxes, I would choose them in a heartbeat, but every dress in my budget is missing something I'd preferably like to have. I just want to feel beautiful on my wedding day. I believe I may be the asshole because I'm being insensitive, taking a wedding dress I knew my sister wanted but never got the chance to wear. Mrs. Victor Bravo. Soft, you're the asshole. I understand you found it and you love it, but you did send it to her while she was getting married, and it was going to be hers. Imagine the heartbreak she is going to feel seeing you in it when her own engagement/wedding got called off. You should have asked her and had a conversation about it at the very least. Yeah. Am I the asshole for not wanting to dye my hair for a wedding? My friend Jay, 24 female, got married a couple years ago and told me, 23 female, to be a bridesmaid. At the time, I was unemployed and on benefits. When she told me to be a bridesmaid, my hair was red. I had been red for about a year. A while after she asked me to be her bridesmaid, she asked me to be her bridesmaid, there were so many demands. She had 3 bachelorette parties, which we were expected to bring presents to with a certain dress code. We had to buy certain brands of shoes and jewelry for the wedding, and had a bunch of brunches with the other bridesmaids and Jay. I did everything I could, but ended up taking a credit card to keep up with it all, as I didn't want to disappoint Jay. About 2 weeks before the wedding, she asked me to go to a salon to get my hair done and remove the red. I will add, I really like my red hair, and which I think played a factor in this. I told Jay a few times I was struggling financially with all these demands, and that I wouldn't be able to afford to dye my hair / go to a salon, and I really liked the red. I had quite literally every penny mapped out, and my hair wasn't a priority. And because of the wedding, I was also in debt by about 500 pounds. With one of those euros? I don't know. I know it doesn't sound like a lot. When you have little money, it sure feels like it. Jay got very upset as my hair was red at the time, and then she just wanted it to be the same as when we met for the wedding photos. It was blonde brown. A week before the wedding, she turned up to my house with a box dye and told me she'd help me dye it. I knew she was stressed, but told her I really didn't want to dye my hair for the sake of one day. She told me I wasn't being supportive as a bridesmaid, so I bit the bullet and let her dye it. Afterwards, it was still a bit red. She bought another and dyed it again. Eventually, she gave up as the red was still quite visible. My hair looked awful on the wedding day, and I cringed at the pictures. We're still okay, but not really seeing each other since the pandemic. Whenever we do, she makes little jokes about how I was trying to steal the show with my hair color. I ended up cutting it all off a few months after the wedding, as I hated it, and wasn't until I finally got my first paycheck after a job I managed to go to the salon and fix it all. So, am I the asshole in this situation? I've never been a bridesmaid before and really tried really hard with it all. She makes jokes about it a lot, and I did feel guilty I couldn't get it fixed myself. I also really liked my hair at the time, so I was gutted that I had to change it. I do have autism though, so sometimes I miss the ball with some social situations by a long shot, so maybe I should have tried to work around it. Dial Plumeria, not the asshole. If she wanted you to change your appearance, she should have told you up front, not 2 weeks before. She threw lavish parties and you tried your best, but she was very demanding. Next time she tries to bring up the red hair, tell her please refrain from talking about it again, because if your hair was the highlight of her wedding must not have been good. I, 24 female, met my fiance, 24 female, when I was 17, when she was a foreign exchange student living with my friend's family. We became friends quickly, and by the end of her stay, we're in a relationship. For years we dated, trying to visit as often as possible, but most of our relationship was through video calls and text messages. After graduating college, I finally proposed. However, COVID delayed her moving here. But her visa was finally approved and she is set to come so we can get married. Everything was going great except for my sister. Throughout the course of our relationship, my sister, 22 female, had been a little rude, constantly trying to set me up with other people despite knowing about our relationship. She also refused to try and build a relationship with my fiance despite my fiance's efforts. She would also only ever call her my friend and not my girlfriend or fiance. Both me and my fiance have tried talking to her about this, and she would also laugh it off, calling it a joke, but my fiance and I are sick of it. I told my sister that if she makes another one of these jokes, she will be uninvited to the wedding. Well, while on a family video call, including my fiance, I had to correct my sister again that she wasn't my friend but my fiance. And my sister's response was, "You call her your fiance, but she calls you a visa." I was disgusted, and my fiance left the call crying. I yelled at my sister, but she got mad, saying that we both knew that my relationship was a fraud. I right there and then disinvited her from the wedding and left the call. Although my parents don't approve of what my sister said, they think I'm overreacting. I am not in contact with my sister, but my parents claim that she has offered to apologize to me and my fiance, but I don't care. We told her that she would be disinvited if she continued, and she did anyways. My fiance and I do not want someone who hurts us, more so her, at our wedding. But my family says we are overreacting. Am I the asshole? Edit. For clarification, my sister is not homophobic. She herself is a lesbian. Also, my sister has received warnings about her behavior. Definitely not the asshole. Definitely. You called it fake, and only for a visa. Then why would you want to go? It doesn't make any sense. Am I the asshole for calling brother-in-law and sister-in-law names, making pregnant sister-in-law cry? I, 26 female, and fiance H, 26 male, generally are alright with his brother Bill, 27 male, and his wife Sil, 28 female. H and I are an interracial/international couple. We used to live in the same city as the both of them, but due to COVID, we moved in with his parents about 3 hours away. We both work part-time in addition to doing our masters and pay rent and bills here. Ever since first meeting Sil, she has always been passive-aggressive and arguably racist towards me. She would used to say things to me like, "Don't you think having mixed-race children is wrong?" What the fuck? Why do you have gay friends when you're Christian? She's religious and anti-LGBTQ, but I personally think religion should be personal. Don't your people eat dog? Wow. Okay, etc. Bill has not said anything as explicitly as Sil, but he does make snide comments about me wanting the equivalent of green card. We don't live in the US. And living off my rich Asian parents, that I can just ask my dad to buy me things. Wow. Already I'm feeling like not the asshole. Definitely not. I always stand up for myself, but Bill and Sil's responses are usually that she was just joking, / I'm too sensitive, / maybe I misunderstood because English isn't my first language. H always defends me, but Bill will then complain to their mother and twist things to say that they were joking / I'm overly sensitive, or falsely accusing me of saying things that will upset Sil. How old are they? Damn near fucking 30. And they're running to this 27-year-old male, Bill, is running to his mom when the OP is defending herself against their racist comments. Mom, H isn't letting me be racist. Make him stop. I want to be racist. Don't take that out of context. Those 7 people who watch this. Bill is a massive mama's boy and calls his and H's mom every day. He also asks her to solve problems for him. Examples: when he and Sil got into an argument, she didn't want to do his laundry, so he made his mom drive 3 hours to do it for him. Sil is very entitled, an only child, and is used to getting things her way. Sil is currently pregnant. There was recently a COVID-safe family barbecue with H's family. During it, Bill and Sil started making comments to H and I, saying things like we're leeching off of H&'s parents, and I am sad there's no dog meat. Then Bill said I should just ask my dad to buy a place for us because aren't all Asians rich anyway? They kept going on until I was physically walked away. I didn't want to make a scene. I went to a corner with H, upset, and said something like they're racist assholes, or at least I don't run to my mom and dad every time I have something to complain about. I genuinely didn't know that Bill and so I'd follow us from behind and overheard what I said. Sil made a big deal about it and burst into tears, calling me mean. Bill yelled at me for making his pregnant wife cry and told his parents that's why she doesn't belong in the family. The barbecue ended in a really awkward note. They also told her family and their friends who weren't at the barbecue, and they're calling me an asshole. We explained our side of the story to H's parents, but things are a little awkward as Bill still calls every day and demands I apologize to them. No one has asked me to, but I think if I did, it might ease things. Despite this, I'm still upset and can't shake off their words as 1, I did call them racist and immature, and 2, I made a pregnant woman cry. Am I the asshole? No! Definitely not. Grindelwald, not the asshole. Your Bill and Sil are toxic and racist people. You shouldn't feel bad for becoming frustrated when you've been the target for their harassment for an ongoing period of time. I'm sorry that the family don't seem to understand that your actions are a reaction to their actions. Yeah. Exactly. Maybe if they hadn't been chasing the OP to continue to harass her, they wouldn't have overheard that they are racist assholes and immature. Just because someone is pregnant doesn't mean that they get a free pass to be an asshole. She cried to make the OP look bad. Crying doesn't hurt the baby. She's pregnant, dude. Dude. You just made her cry, dude? That's why she doesn't belong in this fucking family, dude. She made my pregnant wife cry. She's pregnant. God! Pregnant. Am I the asshole for giving my dad's wife a nickname with my son instead of a grandparent title? My mom died when I was 26, when I, 26 male, was 15. My dad remarried when I was 23. I have a son who's 2 now, and we have talked about my dad's wife as Gigi, which is a play on her real name and what she and her siblings call their aunt. Instead of grandma something or an actual grandparent title. We don't see them all that often, but last week they were here for a few days, and my son, now 2, called her Gigi and it led to her asking where it came from. I explained where it came from, and she seemed taken back. A few hours later, her and my dad sat me down and explained that they had expected and wanted her to have a grandparent title. I told them I wasn't comfortable with that, but I still wanted her to have some, and it seemed like the best compromise. They asked why I didn't want her to have a grandparent title, and I told them it didn't feel right to me. She told me she would never get to be a grandmother if she and my sister, has older kids. All of them call her by her first name. Don't let her take that role with our kids. I said if she wants another nickname we can work on, but it's not going to be a grandmother title. They told me I was an asshole to deny her the opportunity to be a grandparent. My dad said how are they supposed to be around the family when she's treated differently? I said it's not like they're around much to begin with, and he's always kind of gone, even when my mom was alive. And that it was pretty complicated, but he would be gone for periods of time. Sometimes for work, other times just because. After my mom died, he still did it, and I was always between home and my best friend's house in the last 3 years of high school. So to me, it wasn't expected to be very pleasant. So to me, it's not expected they will be very pleasant, and alone makes me think it's not a huge deal if my son doesn't know her as a grandparent, but instead, someone who shows up from time to time with grandpa. Am I the asshole here? No, that's not their biological mom or grandmother. So it's not her place to them. It's your kid. She can't just demand to be called grandmother because you're not. Grandmother is a role, not a title. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter my half siblings and I have different mothers when explaining why I don't call my stepmother mom? I have a daughter who's 5. She asked me recently why Auntie L and Uncle R call Grandma J mom, and I don't. And why I call Grandma mom and why Auntie E doesn't call either mom. I explained to her that I have a different mom from my siblings. That my parents had me, then Dad had Auntie E with her mommy. Then this is kind of hard to read. Then later he met Grandma J and had Auntie L. I'm confused. You know, I'm not doing this one. Am I the asshole for choosing not to help my girlfriend after she got hurt on a bike when I previously warned her? She wanted to try mountain biking. I told her it was a bad idea and that she shouldn't go. I told her she was going to hurt herself knowing it's her first time. She decided to go with her friends anyway. Sure enough, she got hurt. She fractured her wrist and broke her leg. Now she's nagging me to help her around the apartment. She wants me to help her with things like cooking more for us and helping her shower. She's still capable, it just takes more time and effort to get it done. I don't think I have to adjust around her current condition and think it's fair game to continue doing it. Am I correct to do so? I believe I am not the asshole because I warned her that she will hurt herself. It's a tough but necessary lesson in how to assess danger and subsequently dealing with bad reckless choices. I fucking hate you. You sound like an asshole. You sound like an asshole. Lizzie, you're the asshole. Do you even like your girlfriend? She broke her leg and fractured her wrist, and you don't think you could manage cooking a bit to help her out? Very selfish. Edit, saw your other post. You ready to admit you're an asshole, or are you holding out for the more rational responses? Yeah, you're a piece of shit. This one has not enough info on it, but I'm gonna try and deduce because my mega brain will be able to determine whether they are the asshole or not. So, am I the asshole for calling my boyfriend a liar and staying home? My boyfriend invited me to his cousin's wedding in another state. The plan was he was going to spend the week before with his family, and I'd head up the day of the wedding, which was in the evening. I wanted to know what time he and his family planned to leave for the wedding, so I would have enough time to make the trip, shower, and change at his parents' house. I asked him multiple times for this info, and he kept saying he would find out, but he never did. Eventually, he told me they would be leaving by 4, so I told him I'd arrive about 2:30 so I'd have time to get ready. The day of the wedding, I was getting everything ready, but it wasn't in a rush because I had plenty of time. I told my boyfriend I was getting ready to go, and he casually responded that everybody was leaving at 2:30, right when I expected to arrive. I said, "What the hell? When did this happen? You said everyone would be leaving at 4. He said they have to go earlier to take pictures. I asked, why am I just fighting about this now? He claimed that the couple must have changed their minds and made the picture time earlier. I really doubt this happened for a few reasons. One, I've met the bride and heard her talking about the wedding. She's very organized. I don't believe she would decide to change things the day of the wedding. Jeez, my nose is so itchy. 2, if for some reason they really did change things on the day of, my boyfriend would have called me panicked and apologetic. The fact that he was totally calm about this means he didn't see anything wrong with everybody leaving at 2:30 and didn't consider that he had told me 4 because that was never the real departure time. 3, he's done things like this before where he's lied about doing certain things just so I'll stop asking about it, but he forgets to actually do the thing for real. So I told him I don't think he ever checked what time everyone was leaving and that he just pretended to check to shut me up. He said that wasn't true and I called him a liar. I told him I wasn't coming to the wedding after all because I was mad at him for deflecting responsibility. Also, I would have to either go to the wedding looking like a mess or drive myself the rest of the way to the wedding, which is 2 extra hours on top of the trip to his parents' house. My boyfriend said he did not need to be in the pictures and would wait for me, but I told him no because I'm sure his cousin wants him to be in the photos and he shouldn't ruin things for her. He said I was wrong for calling him a liar and refusing to take his suggestion to come to the wedding anyway, but I did not apologize or change my mind. I would say not the asshole because Melichit Macchiato says, info, why are you still with him? The reason I ask is, he's done like those things before, he regularly lies to you about stuff, I wouldn't put up with it. Lying on the regular means you're dating a sociopath. No, it doesn't. Like gaslighting, sociopath gets tossed around in these parts with little regard for its true definition. Some people are just manipulative. Some people have very low self-confidence. Some people will abuse as children and lie as a defense mechanism. Some people have great empathy for others, the opposite, sociopathy, and also are more pathological liars. That said, it certainly doesn't sound like he respects her time or that he is very good at managing his own. He's treating her poorly and standing up for herself is entirely appropriate, not the asshole. Yeah. Not the asshole. Alright, we're gonna do 5 more. Am I the asshole for ignoring my grandparents when they came over for my birthday dinner? They're my step-grandparents. I am 18. They do not treat me very well. It is obvious they are putting up with me for my stepdad. I'm used to it, but I don't like interacting. My step-cousin and me have our birthday within a week of each other. We used to hold a joint birthday party, and they would give me some trinkets while they lavish expensive gifts on her. It was pretty obvious, and it would ruin my birthday. I mean, it is fair. I am not their granddaughter, but I didn't get it when I was younger. We stopped doing the joint birthday thing when I was 12. They usually do come over for my birthday. Anyway, it was my birthday last week. I was pretty stressed out already, and I did the bare minimum with them. I thanked them for coming, the gift they got me, and made some small talk. Mostly spent the party hanging out with my step-cousin and aunt. They're pretty cool. I spend more time with my other family members than them. My stepdad has talked to me about it, told him I was being disrespectful, I should have been friendlier. He wants me to just spend a few more minutes with them. Mom is mad at me. She pointed out this is the only family we have and we should be nicer for them. I feel guilty. I think I made it obvious that I didn't like them. I think they are okay people, but I really don't want to spend time with people who put up with me. Maybe I should have. They did come to my birthday and did give me a gift. I guess that is something. I'm not really angry at them or anything. I could have spent more time with them and it wouldn't have hurt me. I just didn't want to. Not the asshole. You spoke to them and thanked them. What more do they want if they dislike you? Yeah. Am I the asshole if I separated from my friend and her baby at Disneyland? Today, I hit my friend up to go to Disneyland, and she said yes. She lives in LA. I live in Orange County, but she said she was already coming out to OC to drop her baby off with her mom to babysit for the day. Her friend just needed a break, I guess. However, once I mentioned Disneyland, my friend insisted her 1-year-old baby must come. I kindly reasoned that with her that it's not a good idea. Basically, I just said I'm not paying $120 to babysit for the day in the heat, and we can't get on rides together. Her reasoning is that she promised her baby she would take him to Disneyland the next time she went. They're how old? 1. They're not going to remember that. They're obviously not going to remember the fact that you said that you would take them to Disneyland. I even offered to just hang out at the mall instead, but she continued to insist Disneyland with him is a good idea, so I gave in. As we were getting ready, she told her aunt offered to babysit while we go out. My friend accepted the offer, but then shortly after declined the offer. We're at Disneyland and it's almost 4 p.m. and we haven't gotten on a single ride. We've been chasing him around all day and she's currently nursing. He's all over the place and it's exhausting running around after him and catering to his crying. The responsibility is equally on me to chase him around if she's not aware. I'm not exaggerating when I say my arm hurts from holding him. And sometimes he doesn't want to get down. As we were going into Space Mountain right now, the worker said she can't stand in line with the stroller at all, so we just got separated. I feel guilty already. However, it's nice not hearing the baby whine. Should I separate for at least an hour to do my own thing, or is that a dick move? Am I an asshole asking for me time even though I knew what I was getting myself into? We've been here for 4 hours and haven't done anything, not even games. I didn't know it was going to be this bad. Not the asshole. I promised my 1-year-old I'd take him to Disney. Oh, shut up. The kid doesn't care. Seriously, a 1-year-old has no opinion on Disneyland. They can barely say mama and dada. I'm really close with this friend, but she's someone I never understood her logic on most things. I'm good at reading people, but with her, I just don't get her thinking about some things. Yeah. Am I the asshole for refusing to allow a friend to crash on my couch? I recently moved into a penthouse apartment. It's not all it's cracked up to be. It's called the Penthouse, but it's just a 2-bedroom apartment about twice the size of the usual ones located on the roof of the building. And I've been trying to put my life back together. Part of the problem before moving into this place is I was letting people practically walk all over me and get away with damn near everything under the pretense of them being my roommates, i.e., they could do pretty much what they wanted as long as they paid their part of the rent, or so they said. I started going to therapy to help with some of the problems I was having, and part of the therapy was for me to move out. It was pure chance that I got where I am now, and I couldn't be happier. However, one of my former roommates got kicked out of the apartment I left after he got a number of noise complaints, mostly due to his own anger issues and yelling at the top of his lung that anyone on YouTube, TV, or the news who annoyed him should be shot or something worse. Now, he doesn't specifically know where I live, just that I have more space than I did before, so he called me up and asked me if I can crash on his place until he can get an apartment of his own. I said no. That was fine, until yesterday when he started calling me and saying that since I live in a penthouse, that meant I did have space, so I needed to let him... God damn it. Hold on. What?
I'm just letting you know I got there, and I'm just gonna turn it on, and I'm just gonna let you watch me, okay?
Did you flip the switch?
No.
Well, then the whole machine is off.
Wait, what do I do?
Well, don't mess with it. Somebody's coming today. So,
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Obi didn't... He just said that they're coming at some point today. He didn't tell me if we needed to be there. So...
I thought they were gonna be here like yesterday, and they already fixed it.
No.
Whatever.
No, they're coming today. So I guess just...
I guess I'll come back later.
Yeah, I guess just leave. You can come chill.
I guess I'll just...
You can come chill if you want. My test results were negative, so...
Hey, that's what's up.
Here.
I'll be there soon. I'll probably get a pizza or something.
Hey, give me one, though. Give me a pepperoni.
Alright, I'll try my bell.
I'll try your bell. And also, you fucking interrupted me. I'm recording a video right now, my boy. Come on.
My bad.
Come on, my boy. Damn!
How y'all doing, by the way? It's your boy.
I ain't gonna include this, so... Anyways, that I needed to let him stay with me. I repeated my previous no, and he called me all manner of things before hanging up. Now, through our mutual friends, I'm being told that I'm the asshole here, since I do have the space to spare, and it's unlikely there'd be a noise complaint since I do not have any neighbors, per se. I just don't want to do something that may lead to the problems I left, but I just can't help but kind of seeing some of the reasoning. No, I don't think so. The dude got him kicked out on his own. Yeah, you moved out because he was a bad roommate. He got evicted because he is a bad tenant. Just because you don't have next door neighbors doesn't mean you don't have neighbors. You still have downstairs neighbors who won't be happy that some asshole in the upstairs apartment is shouting out YouTube videos all day. And even if you don't have downstairs neighbors, you literally moved out because living with him was so terrible. Why want to live with him again? Alright, this one already says not the asshole, but I still like to read them. I like to put my input on it because, you know, I am the main character in my life, so I have to put my own comments on everything because that's. Am I the asshole for not giving up my room that I rarely use but still pay rent to? My siblings and I have a house together. My dad lives with us and takes care of the bills and some other shared finances. I moved out a few years ago due to my siblings' disgusting lifestyles, but continue to pay for my part of the mortgage or whatever else. I also redid my room very nicely just in case I needed to move back. The house was paid off recently. I still pay for my fair share of property tax and maintenance. On top of that, I send a fixed amount of money to dad every month to cover some utilities, groceries, and whatever else. Recently, one of my siblings kept pestering me to give up the room because, without anyone's approval, they decided to adopt a bunch of animals and now have no room for them. And regardless of whether I give up the room or not, I would still need to contribute the same. The sibling does contribute a couple hundreds more than I do, but they actually live at the house. Although I only come home maybe once or twice a month, I still want my room because you just never know. I told them honestly, wouldn't mind letting them use my room while I'm not there if they train their animals, but they refused. However, these animals have already shored half of the house at this point. No. I don't even know to look at the comments. Am I the asshole for baking a cake for my boyfriend? I, female 17, have a boyfriend 19, male. Who I've been with for the last 9 months. Okay, no one really seems to have a problem with the age, but and so far our relationship has been perfect. He's an absolute gentleman. Now to give some context, he is the oldest as well as the only son of his family, and is very family oriented as well as very close to his mother. Now I've never had any issues with his mother for the most part. She's always been very nice to me despite our language barrier. She mostly speaks Spanish. I'm trying to learn so I can talk to his family more. Now, my boyfriend's 19th birthday came up recently, and I don't have a job, so I decided to make my boyfriend a personal little cake since I enjoy baking. I was honestly scared because I've never actually gifted a cake before, and I was scared he was going to hate it. I gave it to him a week prior before his birthday, as I felt it would ruin it if I gave it to him on his actual birthday. And he loved it. He was so excited. Apparently, no one else had made him a cake before. He ended up eating it all by himself throughout the week and kept thanking me, as well as his actual birthday party went very smoothly. A few days after, when I came over, I noticed his mother was being more distant than usual and didn't speak to me much. I asked my boyfriend, and he said he didn't know why. I then asked his sister, and she explained that his mother thought it was very cheap of me to gift him food, as was a bit irritated by me doing that since he bought me gifts for my birthday. One of these flippable plushies with the angry face in a hoodie. I'll admit it made me sad, but because I put in a lot of effort into the cake and it made something from scratch, but I tried to brush it off. As I didn't know what else to do, his mom had been very distant to me since I don't know what to do. My family doesn't make that much money, so I felt bad at the idea of asking my mom for money. I honestly do feel bad that I couldn't have done more for him on his birthday, but I feel like baking him the cake was better than absolutely doing nothing for him, you know? Not the asshole. Obviously, you said it, you don't have the money to go get gifts. Gifts aren't really like I know gifts are like what you're supposed to get people for their birthday, but like you don't have. It's just capitalism. It's capitalism ingrained in our brains, saying that we're forced to spend money to make somebody's birthday more special because of the gifts that we give them. It's not. Not the asshole. A homemade cake is 1,000 times more special than a store-bought one. Yes, I clicked out on accident, but it was whatever. Am I the asshole for demanding onions on my burger? I don't know. I'm gonna. What is that?
Celiac disease.
Coeliac? I've got coeliacs. So, tonight I went out for dinner and ordered a gluten-free girlfriend version of a burger, which had onion rings on it. Now, I've never come across a place which does girlfriend onion rings, and this place doesn't have girlfriend onion rings either, and would instead. Now, I've never come across a place which does gluten-free onion rings, and this place didn't have gluten-free onion rings either, and would instead. The gluten-free option that costs extra comes with less stuff, so I asked if I could just come with normal fried onions instead. The waitress told me that I could add onion and it would cost $2 extra. I could buy a bag of onions for that price, and explained it wasn't really extra. It was the gluten-free option of the burger. Because it is? What? Why should I not get any onion on my burger and pay more to get what I paid for? She told me if I wanted onions, I'd have to pay for onions. I reminded her I had the most expensive form of the onions. Ended up explaining. I'm confused on why. Not the asshole, I think. For clarification, you're saying they charge more for the gluten-free option outright, the gluten-free tax. The non-gluten-free version has onion rings, which are fried onions. The onion rings aren't gluten-free. You wanted to sub regular onions for the rings, and they wanted to charge more. That's accurate, then they are assholes. Even worse, if the gluten-free option comes with the rings, assuming that they're in fact non-gluten-free. Original poster said, yep, it's $3 extra for gluten-free, which I paid. The onion rings aren't gluten-free, so they just forego onions entirely on the burger. It would cost me $2 to add onions, yet $3 to add onion rings to a burger. So it actually works out cheaper for the restaurant by their own pricing. So, that's stupid. So you're paying $3 to get the gluten-free option in the first place, and it doesn't have any onions on it. And if you want to add regular onions on it, you have to pay $2. So you're paying $5 extra for a burger. Not the asshole. Now, I'm gonna try and find different Reddit pages to maybe make videos on. I'm not sure. This is just a new thing that I'm trying out. But anyways, thanks for watching. Yup.